Welcome to Ready STEM Go, the show where we're speaking to some of our awesome alumni and dive into their STEM journeys and the path that they've taken to where they are today. I'm Mackenzi Oliver, Bachelor of Medical Engineering student, and today we're talking unlocking a future-proof career in the digital economy with Ray Ang. Welcome, Ray.
Thanks, Mackenzi. Happy to be here.
No, pleasure to have you. So Ray is originally from Malaysia and decided to study at QUT. She really immersed herself in the campus life, volunteering for activities such as the Connect Leadership Camp and the Malaysian Students Association. After finishing an IT degree in information systems in 2017, she joined the multinational firm PwC as a graduate. Ray is an experienced consultant with an interest to bridge the gap between data trust and the evolving regulatory landscape within Australia. For over 3 years, she's been helping both the public and private sectors implement data governance, management, and privacy foundations. Ray is currently specializing in the data trust and privacy team at PwC. Ray is also extremely passionate about tackling the growing issue of a lack of diversity and inclusion within the tech industry and is a recognized LGBTIQ+ advocate and a member of GLEE at PwC. I'm so excited to be speaking with Ray today about the importance of inclusive workplaces and representation, and also the inner workings of what is data trust and privacy and cybersecurity. Thank you again for joining us today, Ray.
No worries. Happy to be here. Thanks for the lovely introduction.
So to start off the show, we like to each share like a little maybe STEM fact or STEM story. It's either epic, crazy, or inspiring. Today I'm going with, I'd probably call it a pretty crazy one. There's a team at QT that are developing glass that is resistant to that you'd use on the side of a building or something that is resistant to like all sorts of like hailstorms and say if any case of like explosion or anything. So taking something that we see as, you know, obviously glass is something that tends to shatter and completely hacking the mechanical properties there kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, how interesting, hey?
Yeah. Have you brought a STEM story with you today? Is it epic, inspiring, or crazy?
It's pretty crazy. I saw in the news that with our current technology advancement, guessing an 8-character password can be achieved in 12 minutes and as cheap as $34. So I would like to advise all you out there to make sure that you, construct a strong password for your social media accounts, for your school accounts. Make sure you keep yourself safe.
Spoken like a true privacy expert. So I'm going to go change my passwords on everything after this.
That's good.
No, thank you so much for that. And yeah, let's dive in. So starting off, you're working in October. You just started in cybersecurity and digital trust team. Diving in, what's digital trust?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Mackenzi. It sounds like a buzzword to a lot of people. It was to me as well when I first started as a graduate in digital trust team. So with, like I said, with the current advancement of our technology, we can never get away from our phones. We wake up, we check the news using our smartphones, we do virtual learning, we video conference our loved ones during COVID-19 pandemic, So these activities, they carry certain type of risk online, right? So for example, having your social media accounts hacked due to weak passwords, or even signing up for a free food deals by oversharing your personal information, right? So all of this happens online, and digital trust is ultimately an outcome we would like to help our client to achieve. What it is an outcome that can help our client to build trust and instill confidence that they're doing all the right thing in securing their data that they collect from their customer and their digital platforms when they provide digital services. Yeah, so that's the short and long of it of digital trust and what it means.
So data trust and privacy, as you were saying before, it does really infiltrate all of our lives and can branch into even industries and companies as well. So working in that data trust and privacy as a consultant, you must be able to work on so many different projects and so many different outlets. What's that like?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I've been enjoying this journey since I was a graduate. I was able to serve clients either in the private sectors or the public sectors. And as you may know, private and public sectors, they have different type of objectives that they need to meet. And so when it comes to public sector, it's all about making sure that the organization is doing all the right thing to serve the Australian public, and whereas the private sector is it's also about making sure that they do the right thing to serve the Australian public, but also make sure that they cross-reference with their peers, share knowledge to be able to create the best outcome for their clients. It's an ultimate effort to have both organizations to work together, enabled to serve the Australian public and make sure that they deliver the right digital services in a safe manner.
Yeah, like, and as you said, it's almost that shift in focus between those different outlets. It must be sometimes difficult, I guess, to keep on top of which way that you're meant to be facing.
Yeah, absolutely. So with PwC, it was really good because I had seniors and coaches that was able to guide me through the way. There are a lot of resources online as well that everyone can dive their hands into. Yeah, it's been an absolutely amazing journey.
Yeah, like getting creative, finding those solutions, whether it is, reaching out or keep learning in that path.
Yeah, and you often need to co-create the outcomes with the customers, and sometimes solutions that you've developed for a private organization could fit well in a public organization. So the cross knowledge sharing is so important, and I find it so fun.
At the moment, what are you currently working on?
Yeah. So currently I'm working with an organization to make sure that they create services that are supported by good quality data, right? So for example, you as a smartphone user, you would expect receiving a phone bill every month or so. And when you look at your bill, you want to make sure the amount that you see is correct, right? So that's what we're trying to help our client do, to make sure that these digital services that they are now providing, which is sending an electronic bill to the customer, making sure that what they present is the most accurate. And by providing the accurate amount of data on the phone bill, that is in a way creating data trust. If as a user like myself, if I receive a phone bill that is so like overcharged by $100, surely I will feel frustrated and would like to change my provider, for example. So it's really important to help create data trust, I guess, and that's really fun so far. So oftentimes we think about the technologies and data analytics and things like that. We forget how much effort required to be able to produce the good data when delivering digital services. Yeah. So yeah, that's zero trust.
Yeah, and it's like that ties in, like you said, it's almost like you're able to rely on it. It is, technology is very personal in that you need to have that trust, I guess.
Yeah, it's like an extension to your body organs in a way these days. If like you rely on it so much, you rely it for GPS, and you rely it for, it's basically a utility, a tool to help you do things, right? And so everyone is trying to be on the to jump on the bandwagon to go online and digital service everyone online, but it's very, people tend to forget that to create trust, it needs a lot of effort to make sure that the data are accurate.
Yeah, there's those extra steps involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, this space that you find yourself in, did you ever dream that it'd be something that you'd be stepping into, perhaps before you even started uni?
Yeah, so I guess growing up, I've always liked technologies. I loved my iPods growing up. Yeah, so I always thought I would be in technology, right? So that's why I've took a subject in high school, which relates to information and communications technology, where I learned a bit of coding in different languages. And then I decided, why don't I do a diploma after high school to go in to, understand a bit more about ICT, which is information and communications technology. And so I did. But because when I went on QUT website, I thought, okay, there's computer science and information systems major, right? That belongs to the Bachelor of Information Technology. Which one should I go for? So I chose information systems in the end, thinking that I would become a business analyst, which is the middle person between a technical person and the business, basically translating the business requirements to software requirements in order to develop an app, for example. So I always thought I would be a business analyst. But having seen how the world has become and digital services are so very important, I thought, why not give this graduate role a try? And here I am.
It's like
today.
These opportunities, yeah, you put your hand up for it. You never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, exactly. Because, yeah, you never would have thought these roles would exist now. And they're so much in demand. And recently, the government has released the 2020 cybersecurity as well. And there's huge investment out there because we are so much more reliant on digital and online services. It's just like how we've got, code of conduct for doctors. Right now, we need code of conduct for the activities conducted online. We need some police there, basically.
Yeah, I guess that's something that you don't really think about, that like being online is almost such a playground that if there isn't someone to say like, hey, let's maybe not do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit reckless almost. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
You did kind of mention that it was a bit of a development from that path of, from high school and then moving into uni and then perhaps changing track a little bit depending on what you've seen and what opportunities came up. So you've really evolved through that. What do you do at the moment that you kind of see yourself continue to learn and continue to evolve?
I see it as an opportunity. You know, right now, as COVID-19 happened and, the world has changed a little, and the world will continue changing, right? It's not to say COVID-19 will go away and there won't be another virus that appears and there won't be other, big ticket agenda happening that will change the way all of us consume digital services. So I would say be open to opportunities, and be open-minded and research, right? Right now, the power lies in our hands. We just need to go online, use the services properly and safely, and do a bunch of research. If you think you don't know where you would like to be at, or so maybe you think you want to be a software developer, yeah, cool. Maybe list out the pros and cons of what software developers could bring, or maybe take a step back and think, why do I want to be a software developer, or why do I want to be a data trust privacy consultant? Yeah, I would say research, reflect, and give yourself space to do so.
Do you find yourself giving yourself that opportunity as well, like having those moments for reflection?
Yeah, 100%. So when I started as a graduate, I was more involved in the cybersecurity front and information security front, where I helped conduct compliance maturity assessment. Right now, my role has evolved to become data trust and privacy, because Australia as a country is becoming more aware that it is really important that we safeguard our personal information out there. And so I basically follow where the demand is growing, and be open to sort of still be an information security practitioner, but more more involved in the data trust and privacy side of things due to my interest. And it's always okay to start somewhere. It doesn't mean that when you start a graduate role at an organization, you'll be there forever. It's not that you're going to be married to that organization. You always have an opportunity to, educate yourself on what's out there and what's possible.
Yeah, so many opportunities to really see what's out there and stay curious as well. But we are in such an exciting time for STEM as well, where we do find a lot of our employers and also for us employees and future employees, that diversity, equity, and inclusion are more important than ever. Do you have any projects or systems that you've created or participated in to be a diversity or inclusion advocate?
Yeah, I'm an active member of Shine. So Shine is previously known as GLE at PwC. Shine is the employee network created for LGBTIQ plus identifying colleagues and allies to foster relationships and organize activities. I've been proudly organizing a lot of events, such as Ada Hobbit Day, Wear It Purple Day, as well as Pride Fire Day. I remember marching down Brunswick Street in the Valley before the Say Yes Equality Marriage law was passed. I've been very active in that space, making sure that I show up to champion the diversity that is required in that space, especially as an Asian female as well, coming from Malaysia. There wasn't as much opportunities to be as out as this back in my country. But otherwise, this is not so much of a system of projects, but I just make sure I show up. I attend interview opportunities like this, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you. Panel discussions that I've attended last year at QUT, networking events. Make sure to tell everyone that I'm here. I'm an Asian female who in STEM within the Rainbow family. I'm creating an impact in the Australian society, helping both the private and public organizations. I hope when everyone sees this, when they would go, if Ray can do it, I can do it too, right? And that there should be nothing that is stopping you from doing so.
So incredible to hear. You're so active, and that just presence that you have in this space as well. So you said you organize some activities with Shine. How do you find the involvement there? That must be really exciting.
It was really exciting. So PwC is a big champion in this space for LGBTIQ plus individuals. We are really on top of all the events that that are celebrated all across the world. It's been, since joining as a graduate, there was an induction, right? I remember attending that induction, and there was this guy, his name is Jay. He introduced the graduates to the employee network, then GLE, now Shine. I was instantly just illuminated. I was like, right, I've joined the right organization who supports LGBTIQ plus individual, and there's a platform for them to shine, and that's how the name came about, Shine.
Beautiful name.
Yeah, thank you. And last year, actually, I've joined 10 other individuals to be part of the PwC's Authentic Leadership Program to really understand what authentic leadership means for LGBTIQ plus individuals. And that really goes to show the commitment of, the professional consulting firms and a lot more other organizations that are, championing individuals like myself, which I'm really glad to see.
Yeah, and glad to hear that you have these opportunities and these platforms to progress. So exciting to hear that this space is developing, and perhaps spaces that definitely wouldn't have had that before.
Yeah, so thank you to the people in the past who helped make this possible, really.
Yeah, and to you as well for continuing to champion that change.
Thank you.
So also, you mentioned that you're coming from Malaysia as well. That must have been a pretty big decision to hop on a plane and come all the way to Brisbane to start studying. What pushed you? What was the encouraging factors of that decision?
Yeah, I guess my family to begin with. I have 4 elder sisters. We are a family of 5 girls. which excites my dad a lot. All girls and no boys. So yeah, my sisters decided to further their studies as well overseas, and I've heard, firsthand feedback from them that it's really awesome to be able to experience different cultures, and the world is not just about one country, but so many more. And so, yeah, when I finished my diploma back where I grew up in a local college in Malaysia, I thought maybe I should try to see what are the options there. And so I went to see an education consultant who bombarded me with a bunch of brochures. And, I initially actually wanted to go to the UK because one of my sisters was there. But then this education consultant talked to me about QUT and how Brisbane has perfect weather, sandy beaches.
Really helps.
And yeah, exactly. It helps with de-stressing when you're studying for exams. And then I saw this bachelor IT course that has, information systems as a major, and I was instantly attracted to it, and then got in touch with someone in QUT, and they said, we're able to offer you international merit scholarship as well because of my diploma results. Thank you. So yeah, thank you. So I was instantly attracted, and I was like, why not? Let's do this. And so I came here for 2 years because I did a diploma and there was a credit transfer. I would say ultimately the cross-cultural experience, and Australia is not too far from home. It has everything I need, basically. It's not too cold as well, which is very important coming from Malaysia, which is a tropical country, and Queensland was the perfect fit.
That would have been really helpful for that adjustment period that you were mentioning. What were some key factors that perhaps made it a bit easier for yourself to really start enjoying living life here in Brisbane?
Yeah, so I think it was being open to meeting new people in your classrooms and tutorials, right? So, of course, it may be daunting at first to walk into a big, gigantic lecture hall in Z Block, for example, and go, oh, these are a bunch of people that I don't really know. How do I start making conversation, right? So be open to meet new people through assignments and courseworks, and that was my strategy, and including domestic students, which was able to give us a different perspective again, right? So understanding how each person contribute and what each person can offer, that was my strategy to kind of push myself to be well included into the Australian culture. And it was quite seamless, to be honest, because honestly, there's nothing that should be holding you back. Australians are lovely, so I wouldn't do otherwise. And other than that, I've joined Connect Camp. I went to the 3-day, 2-day camp at Coolan Beach, and that was amazing. That was really good.
Do you want to dive into a bit more about Connect, say, for someone who might not be from QUT?
Yeah, so Connect Leadership Camp basically help organize a few events in the campus. They also hold yearly camps where a bunch of people can get together, do activities, and connect, right? And they do also run a few sessions to help students fit into the campus better. I would strongly encourage you to attend if you ever join QUT. It's definitely an organized, a small student organization that you wouldn't want not join when you're a student there. Make lifelong friends and never regretted it. It has been fun.
Yeah, and it's especially helpful as well because it's not just faculty specific or something. So you do have that opportunity to say meet people from outside of just when you're in the classroom or in the lecture theaters and things.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So the friends that I've made, they are not from my course. They are a few years younger as well. And it's good to have a diverse group of people that you're able to mingle with.
So now that you're finished uni, you obviously went for a job that's here in Brisbane. What was a big contributing factor to encourage you to stay after you finished your degree?
Yeah, so when I finished my degree, as I said, it was only a 2-year degree as opposed to 3 because I did a diploma. I thought that went by so quickly, and I wasn't ready to leave Australia. It was too good, right? And so I actually had part-time experience working in Australia when I was a student in a digital marketing agency, helping to create websites. And so I thought maybe I stand a chance to, be recruited to an organization as a graduate. And so I researched and applied a few roles, and I was fortunate enough to be invited by PwC to be part of their graduate assessment day, and I was successful. I guess, yeah, ultimately it's the employment, but there was this drive that, pushed me to go find a job and have a reason to stay. And yeah, that's the biggest factor.
No, awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you really love it. And yeah, very clear that you didn't want to let go after you'd had a taste.
Yeah, definitely not.
So that's nearly all we have time for. But before we let you go, we'd like to ask, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Yeah, do what you can't do to realize what you can do. Everyone starts as a beginner. Give yourself enough space to learn, reflect, and in the journey, have fun. Um, there's so many possibilities out there. Yeah, don't push yourself too hard and don't give up.
No, absolutely beautiful. I'm sure that is going to be an epic take home message for a lot of our listeners. Again, thank you so much, Ray. It has been an absolute pleasure to talk with you, with your very awesome experience, getting to dive into what is data trust. Definitely something a little bit new for me as well. So yeah, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mackenzi and QUT.
All right. And that's all we have time for this episode. Thank you again for joining us on Ready STEM Go. Make sure you like our Facebook page. QUT STEM is for me with a number 4 to keep up to date with all future episodes.